Reporter Jennifer Rex will have this story.
These are tires from people who have already winterized their car. If you haven't done so, we'll tell you what you need to do coming up on today's Londoner.
And it's Wednesday. Welcome back, everyone. We've endured some unpredictable weather and road conditions over the past several weeks. In this story, reporter Jennifer Rex finds out how you can make sure your car is ready for whatever the season has in store.
To help drivers combat the tough road conditions of winter, we're on location at Pole Hill Automotive speaking with the experts on how to winterize your car.
The basic things that women or anybody should look at for winterizing the car are just the basic things. Everything you looked at for during the summer, make sure your oil's up, make sure the car's in physically good condition. But above and beyond that, antifreeze is a big deal. Some people over the summertime, if they lose a little bit of coolant, will just add water. You've got to make sure it's strong enough that it won't freeze. Freezing, if it freezes, it does a lot of damage.
Is there a particular temperature that people should be buying?
No, you can either buy a pre-mix, which if for convenience is the easiest way to go, but they also make a concentrated, which you have to mix 50-50 with water. So a pre-mix is, you sell it anywhere. You can get it. That's the easiest way to go. It's just an easy top-up. You just put it in the jug. You don't have to worry about mixing anything and that sort of thing. But on average, a 50-50 mix is good. Like I said, if it's mainly water and it freezes, it can do a lot of damage. Above and beyond that, good tires.
How does one know if you have good tires or not?
It's hard to tell sometimes just by looking at a tire. Basically, you make sure there's good tread depth. That sort of thing. Not everybody needs to buy winter tires, although winter tires are a good idea. They're better in the winter, but some people, drag them out during the summer and wear them out because they are a softer tire. They wear out a lot faster. But a good all season is a good idea. Just make sure you've got lots of tread depth and that sort of thing.
What about the wipers? Do you suggest getting winter wipers? I see the Canadian Tire commercials. They've got these new funky...
Reflex.
Yeah.
Winter wipers are a good idea just because your traditional wiper has kind of a bridge, and it puts pressure on the windshield through that. A winter style one is basically the same wiper, but with a covering over it, so it doesn't get ice and snow in there. The new style, you can find the reflex ones. I haven't had a lot of experience with them, but I think they're probably a good idea, just because there's no bridging to get cold or hard or anything like that. I think they're probably a good idea. It's a not necessarily a new thing, but I find a lot more people having remote starters installed on the car. And depending on how it was installed, when you start the car, it may or may not power the windshield wipers. And sometimes you'll come home, you'll have your windshield wipers on, you'll leave it in the driveway, and they'll freeze to the windshield. You push the button, you start your car, and you don't know it, but with the wipers frozen in the windshield, the motor, if the windshield wipers are on, it'll keep trying to, move the wipers, and it can burn the motors out. We've seen a few of them. It'll actually burn the motor out trying to move the wipers. Either that or you'll tear the wipers apart when it moves it. So just if you've got a remote starter and you're planning on using it, just make sure that the wipers are off and that sort of thing. The heater and all that stuff you want to keep on, but to make sure the wipers are off when you do that.
One of the most important things about winter driving is to pay attention. Take a moment to listen to the weather and traffic reports. When conditions are too hazardous, stay off the roads. If you must travel, use extreme caution. It's also a good idea for motorists to always keep at least a half a tank of gas in the vehicle during the winter months, as it could be their only source of heat if stranded. What would you suggest that a woman should probably carry in her car in the wintertime for emergencies?
Well, the emergency kit is great if you have one. If you don't, a simple candle and matches in the glove box, maybe a blanket. Make sure you have your snow brush with you because you need to. Other than that, your cell phone, yes. Make sure it's charged up and you can use it when you have to use it.
If you're just driving around town, An emergency kit is an okay idea, but there's enough people around that it's not not a major thing. You can walk to the nearest gas station or house or whatever. But if you're going to be traveling over the holidays, it's not a bad idea to have some sort of emergency kit. They normally come with depending on on what kind of one you buy, even a cheaper one will come with a small first aid kit, a flashlight, candles. Sometimes they'll have one of those silver blankets to keep you warm, and a please help sign you can put in the back window, and that. So it's not a bad idea.
What can you recommend for women drivers for keeping winter maintenance on their car?
I would suggest the first thing that you do for winter maintenance is make sure you have maybe a good tune-up in the fall. Make sure your plugs and your wires are in good shape, because once they get wet, they don't work very well. Make sure all your fluids are all topped up. You have good tire pressure. The basic stuff, and then we've had an increase in women coming in this fall for snow tires.
Although we've had some pretty bad road conditions this winter, the worst is yet to come. January and February are the worst winter months for driving. So if you haven't got your car winterized yet, you better do so as soon as possible. For today's Londoner, I'm Jennifer Rex.
Thanks very much, Jennifer.